stop that plane from leaving.
What are you going to do?
I don't know yet. You get the car. It's hidden in the trees near the entrance. The keys are on the dash.
Okay.
Keep the engine running. We need to leave as soon as I get the girl.
Jack,
Yes?
be careful.
There's no time to be careful. Not this time. Greta, go! Dannazione. It's too late.
It looks like you're too late, Del Nero.
What are you doing here? Why aren't you on that plane?
I hate traveling. I'm not the kind of guy who crosses the desert on a camel. I prefer the comfort of the big city. Moreover, had I left, I would have missed the chance to deal with you. You made me look ridiculous in the eyes of the organization, and I don't have any intention of letting you get away with it.
And what do you want to do? Kill me? I can see it on your face that you've never shot anyone. You're not that kind of guy. You send your men to do your dirty work.
You're right. I've never shot anyone, even though many men and women died because I ordered it.
How brave.
But you know, there's a first time for everything. It was destiny, Del Nero.
It had to be a little past 4 in the afternoon. I had just lit one of the many cigarettes that fill my days with no clients, when a middle-aged guy comes into my office with 2 caterpillars for eyebrows and a cigar hanging from his mouth. He introduces himself as Harvey Weber, the owner of Weber Company, a meat house in Larchmont. After 10 minutes of pointless chatter about his job, he gives me a photograph. Susan Weber, 20 years old, Harvey's stepdaughter. He tells me all about her carefree lifestyle, her dreams of becoming an actress, and how she hasn't come home in weeks. But how he keeps getting bills for clothes, shoes, and other things that might catch the eye of a 20-year-old girl with a well-heeled old man. Harvey, because of his divorce agreement with his ex-wife, is responsible for supporting the girl until she turns 21. So the kid decides to take advantage of her old man while she can and spend as much as possible until she turns 21. But Harvey Weber isn't one to sit on his hands, and he got his attorneys on the case. They think that if Susan were caught having an affair that her old man wouldn't know of, it could bring the evidence to court and get her cut off. Just one photograph would do it, according to Harvey. I take the job. I'll get him that photograph. The whole thing will cost him $30 a day, plus expenses, paid in advance. Harvey gives me a check for $30 and leaves my office. I cash the check, toss down something that can be called a dinner, and I'm already in Harlem. A few dollars got me a tip that Harvey Weber's kid might be around here, at the Last Heaven Hotel, to be precise. According to the information that I have, a few days ago, some blondie went on a shopping spree here in Harlem. In this neighborhood, if you have money to spend on clothes and jewelry, it's easy to get noticed. I even managed to find out that the girl was seen entering the Last Heaven Hotel. I'd better ask a few questions. This theater was one of the landmarks of the Harlem Renaissance, the movement that, a few years ago, led to the explosion of Afro-American culture in the United States. Just a pile of junk. The Athena Theater. I've heard about it. I believe it's considered to be like a temple for black music. A temple that only whites can go to, of course. It looks like not even the shiny world of show business has managed to escape the grasp of the Great Depression. It's my car. Besides my investigator's license, it's the only thing I have. The Second Life of Miss Gray, a film by Howard Hall, starring Vivian Leigh. Vivian Leigh, that's the same name that Harvey Weber gave me. From what he told me, his daughter greatly admires that actress. Fat Tommy's Laundry. Like the fact that some fat guy is washing my clothes is going to make me feel more certain of the results. One of the many walk-up doors that characterize Harlem. There are photographs of black musicians hanging everywhere, probably jazz players. A wastebasket full of every kind of junk that can be produced in a hotel. The door to the porter's lodge. Sitting down and reading the newspaper. I should have been a reception clerk. I would have certainly been healthier. Hi, do you own this place?
Well, depends on who wants to know.
I'm a private detective.
A private detective. I guess someone has gotten himself in trouble.
More or less. It's about a girl.
A girl, you say? There are a lot of them here, and for a few bucks, they can give you a night that will stay in your memories for a long, long time.
She's not a prostitute. Susan Weber, white, medium frame, blonde hair, 20 years, and pretty enough to cause her some troubles. Have you seen her?
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm not used to giving out information about my guests to the first person who happens by. People come here to have a place where no one can find them, and not just for a place where to sleep. And I try to help them with that as much as I can.
Come on, don't make a fuss. Tell me where I can find Ms. Weber.
Sorry, but you won't get anywhere by being pushy.
You must have a good imagination to call this hotel Last Heaven.
No fantasies or sentimentalities. They're not for me. At least not anymore. This hotel belonged to my brother, Louis Fitzgerald Heaven. There were 9 of us, and he was the youngest. And that's why people called him the Last Heaven. When he bought the hotel, he didn't have any doubts about what to call it. At that time, this place was falling apart, but Louis was sure he could turn it into a good hotel, and he made it.
How come it's you running it now?
My brother can't take care of it anymore. In October 1926, some redneck who missed the good old days of slavery refused to pay his 3-day rent for the room. He said that he would have never given money to a Negro. And when my brother threatened to call the police, the guy pulled out a gun and pulled the trigger. Shot him in the guts. My brother died almost immediately. Even though he was small, he never let anyone to push him around. And what we all thought of as a quality eventually turned out to be what killed him. And the hotel stayed closed for years, and it was I who reopened it 5 years later, but without my brother, it wasn't the same hotel anymore.
Did the police get the killer?
You already know the answer. One day, great men will be able to change how things are, and there won't be any more hatred between blacks and whites.
Nowadays, they name streets in New York after these great men. And when that happens, it means they didn't meet with a happy ending. Tell me where I can find the girl.
I've already told you that you won't get anywhere in this way.
Forget about it.
Whatever you want.
This job probably doesn't pay too much. I'm sure that with a little encouragement, he would tell me more. 10 bucks should be more than enough for some information. These might make you change your mind.
Money to buy information? That must be one important girl you're looking for.
Enough for someone to hire me.
You know, lately, a lot of people like you have come by. They ask questions, look for people. Once, this hotel was considered one of the best in Harlem. Now it's become a shelter for criminals, easy women, and people who are running away from something. All it took was a couple of years of recession to turn New York into a cesspool. I wonder where this city's going to end up.
Where it always has. Nowhere.
You're always headed somewhere. Good or bad, you always have a direction. The day that New York will be rotten through and through, that will be the day that the good God himself will come down to crush it.
Don't count on that. I know people in this city who would manage to bribe your good God with a couple of well-aimed compliments.
Son, I guess you're not a believer.
I believe in whiskey, and in all those things that I can explain in a day.
Well, without faith, it's impossible to survive in this city. Everyone needs something to believe in.
Probably I just don't have anything worth believing in yet. Anyway, let's end this catechism lesson, and tell me where I can find the girl.
You said her name is Susan Weber?
Susan Weber, with 2 B's.
Susan Weber. Oh, you gave me money in exchange for information, but who says that I have any?
Dannazione, you must have a list with the names of your guests.
As I told you earlier, this hotel is a place where half the tenants are poor devils trying to get away from something. They usually don't give their real names. 100 John Smiths, a dozen George Washingtons, even a couple of Charlie Chaplins pass through this hotel.
So there is no room under the name Susan Weber?
That's right, son. I'm sorry, but I can't help you. If you want, you can take your money back.
Keep it. I'm sure it'll come in handy.
Son, what else can I do for you?
I have a question for you.
Tell me.
Is there a woman called Late among your guests?
Late, yes, and she matches your description. White, young, and blonde. Is she the woman you're looking for?
Yes. What room is she in?
Room 313, 3rd floor, end of the hallway.
Thanks. I don't have anything else to ask you.
Well, if you need me, I'm here.
There are some candies in this bowl.
You shouldn't take those candies. They've been there for years.
I'll take my chances. I've put worse in my stomach. I'll keep it with me. There's no way I'm eating it, since I'd like to avoid getting dysentery. It overlooks 125th Street. There's a little panel here. It's today's newspaper. The usual news that comes out before the New York mayoral elections. Each candidate smears the others, trying to steal as many votes as possible. At the end, it will be the least immoral one who will win, or the one who'll do the best job in hiding his skeletons in the closet. Even though companies keep shutting down, the newspapers are saying the worst is behind us. I wonder who it helps if people believe it. It looks like the rain from these last few days knocked out the telephone lines. In some areas of the city, the service will be cut off to avoid a short circuit. Room 313. It's Susan Weber's room.
I've finally gotten away from my clod of a stepfather. I couldn't take it anymore. He thought I should spend my entire life behind the counter of a butcher shop. I'm an actress. I was born to act in movies. Big productions. Isn't that right, Teddy Bear?
Of course, baby. I'll make you the biggest star in Hollywood.
Yes, Howard. With you, I'll be the next Vivian Lake. Actually, you'll make me even more famous than her. You'll give me her parts and I'll exceed her. I'll be the #1. Right, Teddy Bear? Right?
And here's our Susan. I'll take a few pictures of her with her teddy bear, and tomorrow morning I'll give them to Harvey Weber. This way I'll get the rest of my money. I I've heard enough. Harvey Weber paid me to get him some proof of his stepdaughter's love affair. All I have to do now is to get a picture of Susan while she's in the arms of her teddy bear, Howard. The apartment should have a window. That should be Susan's hotel room window. But before doing anything, I should be sure.
It's hot as hell in this room. One day it's cold, the next one it's hot. Tomorrow, I'm gonna give an earful to the owner of this crappy room. You don't treat a future movie star this way.
Good. That must be our Susan's room. Now I have to find a way to open that gate. A gate, the cheapest way to keep away the bums from the dumpsters at the end of the alley. It's closed. These are my lock-picking tools. These trinkets have come in handy more than once. Valuable information is often the best hidden one. I knew that it was a good idea to bring them with me. A dumpster, the kind that has wheels on the bottom so that you can move it. That thing must be 10 times my weight. I'll never make it move by myself. That ladder could be useful. It's too high for me to use it. A manhole. A dumpster, the kind that has wheels on the bottom so that you can move it. There's a break here. The street is probably downhill a little, so if I unlocked it, the dumpster would roll all the way down to the road. There are some metal bars on the ground. Yes, I'll take one. This bar could be helpful. Let's try. Yes, it could work. Okay. It's the camera Greta loaned me. Mine broke months ago. Now's the time to earn my $30. Good. This shot will work just fine. A photo of the stepdaughter necking with the first guy that promises to make her a star. This should be enough for Harvey Weber to get his lawyers involved, and it's definitely enough for me to get out of here. I open the door and jump into the car, ignoring how the seats are getting soaked with my wet clothes. It's water. It'll dry sooner or later. I put the key in the ignition and start the engine, but something isn't working. The gas gauge is on E. The tank must be empty. Following a lead on a case and forgetting to fill up the tank. It's a rookie's mistake. Or maybe the mistake of someone who's simply starting to get sick of this life. I'll have to find another way to get out of here.
Son, what else can I do for you?
Do you have a telephone?
Yeah, we had one.
You mean you don't have one anymore?
We do have the telephone, but it's just not working. I've been waiting for someone to come and fix it for weeks, but nothing so far. Yeah, the technicians come every 3 months to make sure that the control panel is working, but after a few weeks, there's no more dial tone.
So it's not the first time that it's broken?
In the last few years, I've called the technician at least 10 times, and every time he asks for more money. If this weren't a hotel, I'd get rid of it tomorrow.
Where is the control panel?
Oh, I don't have a clue. Must be somewhere outside the building, near the alley entrance.
I don't have anything else to ask you.
Well, if you need me, I'm here.
This must be the telephone control panel. Let's have a look. This is no breakdown. The cable was cut, and by the look of it, it definitely wasn't an accident. The only way to make the telephone work again is to reattach the wire. Yes, the candy wrapper should hold it together. Let's hope it works.
Son, what else can I do for you?
Your telephone should be working now.
Do they also teach you how to repair telephones in your private detective training?
No, just to find out when someone's trying to rip you off. I suggest you call another technician next time. And if you could call me a cab now, I'd be very grateful.
Of course, son.
A night spent under the rain makes even this grubby old cab seem welcoming. The driver is a quiet guy, unlike most drivers who, on a dollar trip, are happy to tell you the story of their life. The only thing he asked was, "Where to?" Essex Street was my only answer. Before going home, I have to return Greta's camera. I disappeared saying I'd get it back to her in a few days. It's been more than a week. The cab turns down Essex Street. Here we are. The trip costs me $2. $1.50 fare plus a 50-cent surcharge for the night rate. Night rate. I hate cab drivers. Good. Greta's place is still open. A sip of whiskey is just what I need to cap off today. It's a building's foyer. It's all lit up in there. The Red Tulip. This is where I do my best thinking. Where are we going? What are we doing? And all that crap that you think of when you're sitting in front of a bottle of whiskey. A normal post box. I've stopped sending letters. If you give people time to answer you, they're more likely to lie. Vote Weston for mayor of New York, and you'll vote for freedom. Freedom. It seems like the word doesn't mean much anymore. It's an alcohol license. One of Mayor Weston's great ideas. Every joint that wants to serve booze has to display this piece of paper. Clearly it serves no purpose, except for lining the pockets of the person issuing the licenses. And it wouldn't surprise me if that person were a close friend of the mayor. A simple coat rack. The joint's telephone. It's a windmill, or rather a miniature replica of one. I think that the original ones are slightly bigger. It's a cash register. A huge wall of booze. If there is a heaven, this is what I think it looks like. Soft clouds, angels flying around, and a bar with every kind of booze ever made. The Red Tulip.
Oh, here's the undaunted detective back from his dangerous mission. How many unfaithful husbands have you discovered tonight?
Not you, that's for sure. No woman would get within 10 feet of you.
Tough day, detective? But don't get upset. Fortune will look kindly on you sooner or later, just like it did for me today.
What the hell are you talking about?
Smiley had the chance of a lifetime. Goodbye, swindles and fake documents. We're talking about some real cash, cars, and the good life.
Why are you so excited tonight?
Smiley is changing his life. No more swindles and fake documents. I've been offered a great job, and I'm going to accept it.
Did you find a free reptile cage at Central Park?
Our detective is always ready with a joke.
What kind of job offer could a snake like you have received?
Oh, sorry, detective, but I can't talk about it.
What kind of dirty business are you mixed up in this time?
Sorry, detective, but we're talking about some serious stuff. And I can't talk about it with anyone, not even you. The only thing I can tell you is that at midnight, Smiley will get a telephone call from one of the most important people in the city.
Yeah, better to not know anything about your business. The recession doesn't seem to affect you, Smiley.
You do what you can. You know, guys like me are always in demand.
Since when have petty crooks been in demand?
Come on, detective. Don't let yourself be fooled by all those naysayers. I'm not as bad as they say.
Smiley, you'd sell your own mother for a couple bucks.
That might be true, detective, but don't be as naive as your old police pals. You know how the world works. I just do my job. If I can help someone in trouble with a few fake stamps and photographs, what's the harm? You aren't going to get all moral on me, telling me that my clients aren't honest people, are you? Everyone has the right to a second chance, and you should know that.
Right. Every respectable murderer should have the chance to create a new identity and commit crimes under a couple of false names.
Detective, you still think of yourself as a policeman. Too bad you were kicked out of that world. I still remember the headlines in the papers. Police scandal.
You do well to leave it off there, Smiley.
Don't get upset. We're just chatting.
Of course. Chatting. Goodbye, Smiley.
Bye, detective. Goodbye.
It's that half-wit Smiley. Lovely hand-decorated plates. This is what anybody but me would tell you. It's the joint's menu. I think I know it by heart now. It's one of those new neon signs. I hope this is only a passing phase. I wouldn't want them to cover the whole city with this stuff someday. It's the same man in all the photographs standing next to all these different kinds of airplanes. It's the joint's radio. No, I need booze, not music. It's Greta. Hi, Greta. Pour me a whiskey.
Jack, do you remember that you've had my camera for over a week now? When are you planning to return it?
I actually finished using it tonight. I'll pull out the film roll and it's all yours.
Try not to break it when you pull the roll out. The winder has been broken for years, so you have to do it manually. I suggest you find a dark place when you do it. Otherwise, you can bid farewell to your precious photographs.
Wandering through the dark alleys of the Lower East Side isn't exactly on the schedule for tonight. Yes, it's dark enough for me to be able to take the film roll out without any problems. Good. I was able to take out the film roll from that damn thing. I hope that the film roll didn't get exposed to too much light. Otherwise, goodbye pictures and goodbye money. Here's the camera. Can I get my whiskey now?
Whiskey? And how are you going to pay for it? Your account has been overdue for months, Jack. And I have to pay your rent, too. So until you pay, you don't drink.
Am I wrong? Or are you in a bad mood tonight?
Terrible, I'd say.
What happened?
Look around. The joint's empty. There's not a soul except for the one customer I'd happily do without. Smiley. Anyway, I'm busy now and I don't feel like talking.
I have to find a way of getting that sleaze Smiley away from the joint. And I have to do something to make Greta more manageable. Maybe some music might calm her down.
Hi again, Detective. What can I do for you?
Smiley, you'd better get out of here.
I don't see why I should, Detective.
Am I wrong, or did you say that you're supposed to get the call that will change your life at around midnight?
Yes. Why are you asking me?
Because tonight the telephone lines may be down in some areas. The storm last night seems to have caused more than the usual damages.
Not a problem. If they can't get through today, they can always get through tomorrow, don't you think?
Certainly. No one would ever give up the chance of working with you just because of a telephone glitch.
Yes, they'll definitely call tomorrow.
You know what, Smiley? They say that real opportunities only come around once.
You think they might change their mind and not call?
I don't know.
Maybe I could go to them, to be on the safe side.
Well, it'd be a shame to throw away the opportunity of your lifetime because of a stupid telephone glitch, right?
Yes, maybe you're right. I better go to them. I'm sorry I have to run. I better hit the road. I have a lot of ground to cover.
Good luck, Smiley.
Thanks, Detective. Thanks.
He might be a dirty snake, but sometimes that guy is as naive as a kid. Let's see how this thing works. In a better mood?
I'm still a little bit nervous. I don't feel much like talking.
I have to do something to make Greta more manageable. Maybe some music might calm her down.
My friend,
In a better mood?
Sorry, Jack, but I've had enough. The customers have all disappeared. I'm barely making it to pay my rent. And that slimeball Smiley is here every night. I hate him.
How's the joint going?
Not well.
It looks like you haven't had many customers lately.
Right. It's because of the Great Depression. That's what the papers call it. Banks have gone under, people are unemployed, and there are prostitutes and criminals around every corner of the city. I'd say that the American dream is over, and we're just starting to figure it out.
At least you still have your joint.
I barely make it to the end of the month, and the situation isn't getting any better. Last night, I even closed the joint early. There weren't any customers.
It could be worse. At least you don't spend your nights photographing 20-somethings running around with guys who could be their fathers.
Is that what you were doing tonight?
I'd rather not talk about it. Why did you pick the name Red Tulip for your joint?
My old man picked it, not me. The joint was his. He opened it after the war. He was in the Air Force. When he got discharged, he got the crazy idea of opening this joint. He was so proud to be Dutch that he decided to call it the Red Tulip, like the flower that represents his country.
What kind of guy was your old man?
He was a good man. I really miss his stories about when he was a pilot in Holland. I was born here in New York. I've never seen Holland, except in books. It must be a beautiful place.
I don't think they're doing too well either right now. How did you end up working in your old man's pub?
One day, my old man got sick and died. I had lost my job as a dancer, so working in his joint seemed like the only thing to do.
So you were a dancer?
Right. The Flying Dutch Girl. That's what they called me. I loved to dance. I was even in a tour in France for an entire year. It was one of the best times of my life. But I guess it was destined to end. With the economic crisis, no one was going to see the shows anymore. Better spend the few bucks left on booze and hookers.
Did you ever try to get back in it?
Didn't make sense anymore. Moreover, now I have to run this joint and serve whiskey to semi-alcoholic former police officers.
Delighted to be part of the story. Let's change the subject. About Smiley.
No, Jack. I don't want to talk about that guy now.
Could I get something to drink?
Your account is overdue, Jack.
Maybe you could make an exception for a fan of the Flying Dutch Girl?
It's just a pathetic attempt to flatter me, Jack.
It's worth trying. The worst that can happen is that it will make you feel better.
I doubt that it would be enough to get a drink on the house.
But I'm sure it would make you happy.
You think that sooner or later I'll give in and pour you one, right?
If I didn't know how to read people, I wouldn't be doing this job.
So you think you're good at your job?
I'm definitely not the best. I'm better than a lot of guys that hang a sign out.
Why should I offer you a drink?
Because you're not as tough as you'd like people to think. And offering a whiskey to a poor schlep like me makes you feel good in the end.
If I give you a whiskey, it's just so you'll keep your damn mouth closed. Today you're full of stupid ideas.
Well, at least I got what I wanted.
How do you want your damn whiskey?
Make it a double, no rocks. I hate watered-down whiskey. I down the first glass of whiskey in one gulp. That burn in the throat as the alcohol goes down is a thing of the past. After years of drinking, all that's left is the sweet flavor of malt. A few drinks, and my muscles start to relax. My head feels light. My vision gets cloudy. One headache later, and I'm outside the Red Tulip. Closing time, says Greta. My head is ringing like the church bells on Christmas Eve. The hammer is striking the wall of my skull like it's trying to break through. Too much whiskey, Jack. Better go home. Hello? Yeah, it's me. Well, call back tomorrow morning. I don't work at this hour. I'm not a pay-as-you-go masseuse. What? McLean? McLean's in New York? Who are you? Where did you get this information? Melville Port in Brooklyn. Follow the Lord? What the hell does follow the Lord mean? Hello? Hello? Dannazione. He hung up. McLean. It's been years since I heard his name. Why is he in New York? I don't like this, but I have to know. I'll go to the Melville Port in Brooklyn, but I better bring my gun with me. Even if I hate carrying a gun, I don't want to take a bullet for a call from who knows who. Dannazione. I can't see anything. I need to find a light switch. No switch here. 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 Here's the switch. A map of Italy. I'll go back there one day. Inside, there's a nice mix of documents and underwear. A fold-away bed, one of the best inventions in recent times. Useless papers in useless boxes. A series of useless manuals on the ethics of investigation, as if there were an elegant way to take a bullet in the thigh. The only useful thing on this shelf is the New York phone book. A manual on processing jade, an essay on sleepwalking, and a treatise on the story of the Knights Templar. I must have been drunk when I bought these books. I don't have any idea what's in these boxes, but if I put them there, there's got to be a reason. Documents, an ashtray, and takeaway Chinese food. Everything that you need for a good investigation. This calendar is from a few years back. I should throw it away, but I wouldn't know what to replace it with. Patriotic American images. They add a little something for the clients. My investigator's license. All the cases I've ever worked on over the years are filed in there. Boring cases of cheating spouses and petty thefts. A map of the island of Manhattan. Rain and lightning. The perfect weather for a walk. My 20 square feet of bathroom with my $16 a piece ceramic sanitary ware. The only suitcase I have. It's an old trunk full of clothes. A manifesto from Clito in Calabria, the city where I was born. Documents on old cases. Some canned tomatoes, beans, and other grub to keep me alive. There are just boxes with papers up there. It looks like a statue of a seagull or a pigeon. I didn't remember having this junk in my storage room. Boxes, papers, and other stuff that... If I actually tried to put these shelves in order, I'd realize that at least half of these things should be thrown out. Boxes, papers, and other stuff that I don't need anymore. Detergent and clothespins, the bare necessities to look presentable. Just a stack of old documents. A jar of lard. My homemade photography lab. I develop my own photographs. I can't let compromising materials end up with some photographer with a loose tongue. The last red light bulb I had blew up last week, and the place where I usually buy them doesn't open until tomorrow morning. Mop and pail. Perfect for a housewife. When I rented this apartment, this thing was already there. It's kind of broken, but I didn't pay for it. It's my gun holster. Dannazione. It's been years since I put the gun in here. I don't have any idea of what the combination is. Dannazione. It's been years since I put the gun in here. My gun. My gun. It's been a while since I used it. I don't like to carry it with me. Anyway, it's not loaded, and it's pretty useless to carry it around without any bullets. I must have some bullets in my office somewhere. I just need to remember where. Here are the bullets. Let's hope they didn't rot over the years. Great. There are just 3 bullets. Better to be an optimist and see the magazine half full rather than half empty. Good. The gun is loaded now. There's something under the door. I must have been too drunk to notice it when I got here. It's a letter from Slavonsky, the apartment owner.
Dear Mr. Del Nero, please remember that you are 2 months late with rent. You are asked to fulfill your duties as renter, to avoid unpleasant consequences. This is the last notice that I send. If you do not pay, I take drastic measures. Sincerely, Vladimir Alexandrovich Slavonsky.
If I had the money, I'd pay the rent. It's the 3rd threat of eviction that this stingy Russian has sent me this month. And I think it can keep the other 2 company. An old copy of the New York Voice. For once, the weather forecast seems to have been right. I've never seen this much rain coming down. It's like a hurricane hit New York. The certainty with which Mayor Weston claims he'll be re-elected makes me think that his electoral campaign isn't relying solely on rallies and handshakes. At the end of the day, you can always buy the votes that you can't win with your ideas. Cardinal Rastinger gets up in arms about alcohol abuse. This is the kind of news that tells me that the church and I will never get along too well. Slavansky's Porter Lodge. That stingy Russian spends the whole day inside this hole. Weird he's not here now. I think this is a matryoshka. Even if, from that sour expression, it doesn't look like something a kid would play with. An umbrella in an umbrella holder. It seems to make sense. I'd rather get wet than walk around with those dumb umbrellas. These trash bags give it that certain touch of decay that makes this place unique. It looks like a movie poster. I can't figure out the title. The only thing I can make out is a Navy ship. Vote for Mayor Smith. Vote for a better New York. Great slogan. A 3-year-old couldn't have done better. That's a cab. Since my car is still parked in Harlem, it's the only way that I can get to Brooklyn. Since they abolished Prohibition, advertisements for booze have filled the city streets. What was once considered public enemy number 1 is now our best friend. Old Abraham's jewelry store. In the end, they even managed to close down that old Jewish tightwad. If this recession continues, in another 2 years, the Lower East Side won't have any businesses left open. That's just what I need.
Hi, buddy. I help you?
Take me to the Melville Port in Brooklyn.
Sorry, friend. I know in service.
What does that mean?
It means I no work. I on break. No ride, no work, and no question. I on break.
I need to go to the Melville Port. It's urgent.
Buddy, it's your problem, not mine. I off. If you big hurry, call cab company and have send other cab.
Take me to the Melville Port. I'll pay you twice the fare.
I no want money. I earn big money today, and now I on break.
When is your break over?
Oh, I don't know. Can be 2 or 3 hours.
You're on a 3-hour break? What kind of nightcab are you if you take a 3-hour break in the middle of the night?
I don't talk about my work with you, especially when I on break.
Damn, driver. Take me to the Melville Port right now.
You deaf power? I off. If you big hurry, call cab company and have send other cab.
Goodbye.
You said right word. Goodbye.
The Slavansky Apartments. The last refuge of rejects and ex-criminals in retirement. It's certainly not the best place to open a detective's office, but these days, I can't afford to be too picky. Actually, it's not that bad. The rent is low, and you're not forced to fake a smile for the neighbors.
New York operator, what can I do for you?
The taxi company, please.
Wait a second. Hello, Binkle Taxi. What can I do for you?
I need a cab.
Where are you?
Essex Street on the Lower East Side.
Hold, please. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm sorry, but the only driver in your area isn't answering his radio. He seems to have disappeared into thin air.
You don't have any other cab?
No, not right now. No one wants to work the night shift in South New York. The area is full of knuckleheads.
So the only cab available in this area is the one with this disappeared driver.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him in days. We even reported him missing to the police, but they don't care about a disappeared Mexican cab driver. They keep telling us that sooner or later a detective will contact us by radio and they'll start an investigation, but I still haven't heard from anyone. Anyway, I can send you a cab from Harlem, but it'll still take about half an hour.
No, I can't wait. I'll figure out something else.
Okay, bye.
All I needed was a missing cab driver. It seems that the only way to get away from here is that damn Chinese cab driver.
You again, buddy? I already told you, I on break.
The company says that there are no cabs in the area.
Well, obviously, I own the cab driver in area.
Hey, wait. The receptionist said the only cab driver for this area disappeared 3 days ago.
Disappear? I know disappear. I know answer radio, that all.
And why don't you answer the radio?
I sell it, make big money.
You sold the radio?
Yes, sold. I pick up more kind going round. Radio no help.
Something smells fishy.
And what you want now?
The receptionist said the cab driver who disappeared was a fat Mexican. And you don't seem much like a fat Mexican.
I don't understand what you say.
You understand all too well if you ask me. I'm not interested in your game. But if you're Mexican, I'm Abe Lincoln.
I'm Mexican. Adopted Mexican. Lived many years in Mexico. With uncle.
Of course. And what's your uncle's name?
My uncle called Diego. Diego de la Vega.
Diego de la Vega is Zorro.
Yes. His friends often call him Zorro.
He's make-believe. He doesn't exist.
What? You tell me my uncle no exist?
Let's knock it off with this story. I don't care who you are, or where you come from, or what you did with a Mexican driver. Just take me to the Melville port, and I'll keep my mouth shut about all this. Easy, right?
You blackmail me.
You can call it whatever you want. That's just how things are.
I don't listen to blackmail.
Whatever you want. I hope the police believe your story about being Zorro's Chinese nephew.
Okay. You win. You get in cab, but don't say nothing to nobody about this.
That's better.
Where we go?
The Melville port in Brooklyn. The cab glides over Manhattan Bridge, a solitary figure ignoring the speed limit. In my head, a quartet of pneumatic hammers continues to bang on my temples, reminding me that there's still a good amount of whiskey in my veins. Not exactly the best way to go to a meeting that seems like it was set up to get rid of someone quickly.
You happy now? I bring you here, and now I go away.
You're not going anywhere. Wait for me here.
I must wait you here? I don't want to wait you here. This place is scary. I want to go.
Stop whining or I swear I'll get your taxi driver's license revoked.
License? Need license to drive cab?
Great. A Chinese cab driver without a license who's driving the cab of some Mexican guy that nobody can find.
Welcome to New York.
Better not waste time and head for the port's entrance. The appointment was more than half an hour ago. there's no one here. This is the right place, and I'm not that late that most people wouldn't still be waiting. I don't like this. I'd better take a look around. Melville Port. In the 1920s, it was an important loading and unloading point for fishermen who frequented the East River, but I hadn't heard about it for years. I thought it had closed. A stop sign. It's a signal buoy. The anchor must be broken, otherwise there's no reason for it to be so close to the mooring. A wooden stick. From the markings on the side, it must be one of the rods they use to measure the depth of the water. Right now, I don't need it. There's a toy company logo on these crates. Who knows? Maybe Santa Claus decided to give up his sleigh for a more practical merchant ship. It's the Harbor Master's office. There's a notice. We would like to inform you that the Harbor Master's office is open daily from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. An open can. Looks like there's pitch in there. They probably called me from this telephone. I remember hearing a ship's siren during the call. There's something on the ground. Dannazione. It's blood. It's fresh. Very fresh. Otherwise the rain would have washed it away. I didn't like this case right from the very beginning. These traces of blood certainly don't win at any points. What the hell? Dannazione. That Chinese cab driver ran away and left me here. I hate cab drivers. It would be better if I called the police. The sun is shining. Rather optimistic for an act of vandalism. Crates, barrels, and other crap. Everything that you'd expect to find at a port. Kane and Smith warehouse. Looks like they haven't been used for a while. This car tells me I'm not the only one at the port. I didn't come to steal cars. Yes, I'd better call the police. Hello, operator? Operator. There's no line. Someone must have cut the cables. That explains why the telephone call I received was cut off so abruptly. No cab and no phone. Looks like I'll have to take care of things myself. A rowboat that has seen better days. It's too dark. I can barely see where I'm stepping, but I can see a blood trail pointing to the docks. An electric panel. Nothing I can do. The panel is completely useless. It's pitch black. If I take another step, I might end up in the water. Drowning seems like one of the most unpleasant endings I can think of. Anyway, I have to find a way to go to the docks area. The blood trail points in that direction. There's a flashlight here. Yes, I'll take it. The flashlight is in good condition, but it doesn't have any batteries. Finding something ready to be used would have been too easy. The light from this buoy definitely doesn't work on its own. It must be battery powered. Maybe it uses the same kind as my flashlight. And what should I use it for? Yes, it's a good idea, but with the stick, I would be only able to touch the buoy. I need something that will help me hook it. And what should I use it for? It's not a bad idea, but I'd better put some pitch on the object that I want to attach to the stick. Pitch looks like it can still be used. The pitch looks like it can still be used. And what should I use it for? It's not a bad idea, but I'd better put some pitch on the object that I want to attach to the stick. They don't fit in my coat. Otherwise, I'd be more than happy to carry a huge wooden crate around New York. These are the typical things that are essential to make it in a big city. There are traces of blood on the ground. These traces of blood aren't a good sign. A metal door. There's a toy company logo on these crates. Who knows? Maybe Santa Claus decided to give up his sleigh. These traces of blood aren't a good sign. Crates, barrels, and other crap. No, it's saying something that it's still floating. The keys of the car, of the office, and of something else that I don't remember anymore. My cigarettes, and my lucky lighter, even though it has never brought me much luck. I don't see how I could use them together. A wooden stick. From the markings on the side, it must be one of the rods they use to measure the depth of the water. And what should I use it for? Yes, it's a good idea, but with the stick, I would be only able to touch the buoy. I need something that will help me hook it. It's not a bad idea, but I'd better put some pitch on the object that I want to attach to the stick. No, it doesn't make any sense. I didn't come to steal cars. better call the police. Hello, operator? It's pointless. There's no line. No cab and no phone. Looks like I'll have to take care of things myself. I can't get there from here. I don't see how I could use them together. I don't see how I could... A useless flashlight, since it doesn't have any batteries. Nothing that's worth the trouble of picking up. Let's see. It's part of a pipe. It could be helpful. Yes, I'll take a little. Now the pipe is full of pitch. The pitch should work as glue. And what should I use it for? Yes, this should work. The improvised hook does the job. It hooks the buoy and brings it to the pier. Okay, I brought the buoy closer. Okay, let's hope that the buoy takes the same batteries as the flashlight. They take the same batteries. If I weren't already up because of that anonymous call, and I hadn't found traces of blood at a semi-abandoned port, I'd say that today is my lucky day. It's pitch black. If I take another step, I might end up in the water. Anyway, I have to find a way to go to the docks area. It's time to shed some light on this story. Gun and flashlight in hand, I walk around the crates scattered around the port. I'm careful to cast my light everywhere that someone could be hiding with the idea of whacking me over the head with something when I least expect it. There isn't anyone on the dock. I decide to look around the piers. And there, I find something that doesn't really surprise me. A dead body. Sean's dead body. I touch his face with my fingers. It's warm. He can't have been dead more than 20 minutes. Rifling through the pockets of his coat, I find a bottle that, from the smell of it, must have rye whiskey in it. And a couple documents with the name John Ford on them. They're done so well, they almost seem real. All of a sudden, a noise behind me brings me back to reality. But it's too late. A set of knuckles meets my jaw like a truck. I fall to the ground. From the rebound, my finger pulls the trigger, and the gun goes off. The trajectory of the bullet is as random as my shot. The owner of the fist stands there like a statue, making noises like a caged gorilla at the zoo. I try to think of a quick way to knock him over. He's as big as a house, but a kick to his legs will knock him over like a consumptive kid. Right before I'm about to jump, the guy turns around and runs away. I follow him. But as soon as I get off the piers, a light beam hits me right in the face. "Hands up," says a voice, but I can't see the face. "New York Police," continues the voice.
Del Nero, that's a great story you just told. An anonymous call, a mysterious assailant, and a dead body. Sounds like the plot of one of those crime novels so popular these days.
I bet it's those kinds of books that made you the lieutenant you are today.
Hey, I wouldn't joke if I were you. You're not in a position to be joking. Let's summarize your version of the facts. Around 20 past midnight, you got a call from a man. He said he had information for you and asked you to go to the Melville port. You agreed to meet him. When you got to the port, no one was there. You decided to walk to the piers, and there you discovered the body of Sean McLean, a former police officer who had been your partner in this department years back until the Valenti case when you both got kicked out of the force. And to conclude, you claim that you were assaulted by some mystery guy who was chasing you when you got arrested by Officers Harris and McGee. Now, is this all correct?
It's the third time that I've told you the facts of the matter. I can repeat it as often as you like, so that you can see whether I trip up, but that technique isn't going to work.
You are accused of homicide, Del Nero, and I suggest you cooperate with us if you don't want to end up in a cell. There are some unclear points that I'd like to shed some light on, if you don't mind.
Sure, I don't have any other appointments. My knitting class has already ended.
Del Nero, joke around if you think this behavior will help you. At 20 past midnight, you got a telephone call from a man that asked you to go to the old Melville port. You agreed without thinking twice. Let's talk about the telephone call you received.
It was a guy with some information about one of my cases.
Okay. It must have been very important information to make you go to the port in the middle of the night. What information are we talking about?
Information on a person I'm looking for.
Interesting. Based on your story, when you got the call, you went right to the Melville port. How did you get to the port?
I took a cab.
Interesting. From the telephone records, we know you called a cab company at 12:27, but we don't have any proof that you really did take a cab. How do you explain the fact that no driver reports having you in their cab?
I paid the cab driver so that he'd say nothing.
Okay. When you got to the port, did you meet anybody?
No, no one was there.
So you didn't meet anyone. What did you do when you arrived at the port?
I took a look around.
Good. The officer said that you were inside the port. Why did you go to the piers?
There were traces of blood.
Don't lie, Del Nero. My officers didn't find any traces of blood. Why did you go to the piers? That behavior won't get you far, Del Nero. What did you find at the piers?
McLean's body.
Interesting. If you don't mind, Del Nero, I'll tell you my version of the facts now. I'm sorry if it's not as exciting as yours. There aren't any mystery men or anonymous calls. I think that someone was tailing Sean McLean and then decided to tell you he was at the Melville port. Maybe he did it for the money or for some sort of professional ethics between you private detectives.
Crap.
Let me finish, Del Nero. With that information, you took a cab to the port, making sure you had your gun with you. When you got there, you found McLean and you shot him in the stomach. That's how it went. Admit it, Del Nero.
You don't have any proof.
No? So let's talk about the gun you had in your hand when the officer surprised you at the port. You shot out from behind the docks, running like a madman with a gun in your hand. Is that right?
Yes, I had my gun with me.
Paraffin analysis on your gun shows that you used it tonight. How do you explain that?
I already told you that my gun went off during the scuffle.
Oh, of course. The scuffle with the mystery man. A man whose face you didn't see and that the officers didn't find any trace of. Del Nero, there were only two people at the port tonight. You and McLean. You were the one who killed McLean!
Why would I have killed him?
Revenge, Del Nero. Nothing but revenge. McLean confessed to your involvement with the Valenti family, and that cost him his job on the force and got you a year in the state prison. Well, that seems like a plausible reason to kill someone.
These are just theories, Malone.
These are the facts, Del Nero. Confess. It was you who killed Sean McLean.
I didn't kill McLean.
Say you're guilty, Del Nero.
I won't confess to something that I didn't do.
Del Nero, the law allows me to keep you here for as long as I need to. If you confess now, the judge will go easy on you, and you might get off with a lighter sentence. Otherwise, you stay here in this room until we find the evidence that shows you're the killer. And if we can't find them, I'll make sure that something turns up. Goodbye, Del Nero.
Bastard. Dannazione. Malone won't take too long to get the proof he needs. I have to find a way out of this situation. An interrogation table. I'd like to say that it's the first time I've seen one. Hey, is there anybody in there? If you plan on keeping me here for long, you could at least give me a magazine to read. This place is boring. It doesn't look like anybody is in there. The radiator's shut off. There's never been a comfortable interrogation room.
Hey in there.
What's happening now?
Someone paid your bail. Pick up your personal effects at the counter and beat it. We need the room.
Right when I was starting to be fond of this place.
If you want, I can always toss you in a cell for a few days.
Is this a formal invitation to meet your family?
Huh.
I'd better get out of here quickly. I don't want to spend another minute in this place. It's the counter where you return personal effects. My personal effects. I hope nothing's missing. Sean's bottle of rye. The officers must have thought it was mine. Otherwise, they would have never left me an object belonging to the person they think I shot. Hey, let me out of here. The police department of Hoboken. It's been years since I've been here. Nothing's changed. There are the same photographs on the walls as when I worked here. Officers with their chests puffed out and mayors shaking hands. I really didn't miss this place. Anyway, it's time to figure out who's the good Samaritan that decided to pay my bail. The department's porter's lodge. The police department of Hoboken. It's been years since I've been here. The department's benches, as uncomfortable as the reason why someone would have to sit on them. A fire extinguisher. An American flag. I have to buy one for my office. It'd give it that touch of patriotism that's missing. The service officer's post. Hi, officer.
How can I help you?
Can you tell me who paid my bail?
Tell me your name.
Jack Del Nero.
Jack De Niro?
Del Nero, not De Niro.
Okay, calm down. Jack Del Nero. Here you are. Released at 1:13 with bail paid by Victoria Diaz. Yes, it was Sergeant Diaz who paid your bail. Well, you have powerful friends.
It looks like it. Where can I find Sergeant Diaz?
Top floor. Stairs are in the back on the right.
Thanks. Goodbye, officer.
Goodbye.
One of those pompous awards that mayors love to hand out to make themselves more popular. Jokes aside, this plaque is an award to Malone for his work combating crime here in New York. The plaque says, for his continued quest for the truth. It's like assigning a Nobel Peace Prize to Al Capone.
Sergeant Diaz, this behavior is unacceptable. I'm not going to let you hamper my investigation.
It takes a lot of guts to call it an investigation.
I'm not going to discuss my methods with you. I'm your superior, and I'm ordering you to get your nose out of this matter. Or I'll have to take care of you as well.
What do you want to do? Toss me in a cell too?
Stay out of it. It won't turn out well for you. Del Nero, Do what you want for the time that you have left, because in 24 hours, you'll be back behind bars, and I'll be the one bringing you in.
What an honor.
Joke all you want. The truth will come out one way or another.
You do like to play the role of the irreproachable police officer, right, Malone?
It's a role that comes easy when I'm standing in front of a murderer.
You have no proof that I killed McLean.
I'll find it, Del Nero. I'll find it. I suggest you don't leave the city. I have personally informed every officer in New York about your situation. If they find you with 1 foot outside the city or close to doing anything you shouldn't be, they have orders to arrest you and bring you in.
An entire police department watching my every move. I'm thrilled by the attention.
24 hours, Del Nero. Give me 24 hours.
Sergeant Diaz.
Knock it off, Jack. Call me Victoria.
You've had quite a career over the years. When I knew you, you were just a rookie.
A lot of time has gone by, Jack. Anyone would have done it.
I don't think so. If I were still on the force, I'd still be patrolling Central Station.
You could have become a lieutenant without any problems if you just had some common sense.
I have a pretty rocky relationship with common sense.
Which isn't very good for an officer.
But that aside, we have to talk. Is there a quiet place?
My office should be quiet enough.
I had been in the force for a couple years already when Victoria came to the department. She was one of the rookies, fresh from the academy, certain that she could make this city a better place. She quickly realized that wasn't the case, and that, for her, things wouldn't be so easy. Before then, no one had ever heard of a policewoman, and no one wanted her in their way. A Mexican girl who would have started crying at the first gunshot? Not exactly the ideal partner. So Captain Mayers decided to pair her with someone who wouldn't make any trouble. Sean and I were perfect. We had so many demerits for bad conduct that we weren't in any position to object to any of his decisions. So we started to babysit the girl. We taught her everything we knew, how to follow a lead, how to pump someone for information, and how to go home without a bullet in you. Victoria was a quick learner. Yeah, she was shy, but she had intuition. Sean and I liked her right off the bat. A coat rack. I have the same armchair in my office. A map of New York, and a few old photographs of Mexico, Victoria's native country. No, I didn't come to stick my nose in Victoria's business. There's a sign on the desk. Victoria Diaz, Police Sergeant. This girl has come a long way. She was just a shy rookie when I met her.
What do you want to ask me?
Why did you pay my bail?
Shouldn't I have done it? Would you have rather stayed in the interrogation room?
So you believe I'm innocent?
I didn't say that. But I doubt that you were the one who killed Sean.
You don't think I could kill a man?
Yeah, you could, but that's not the point. You have a lot of defects, Jack, but you're not a killer. And what really doesn't stand up is the motive. Revenge. You pay someone to find Sean and kill him. That doesn't fit with someone who is as unresponsive as you are.
Unresponsive? I'll take that as a compliment. Tell me about Malone.
What do you want to know?
What do you know about him?
Well, as much as I hate to admit it, he's a great police lieutenant. Over the years, he has managed to dismantle more criminal activities than even the feds. He even received an award from the mayor, in person.
Not for his manners, that's for sure.
His methods during investigations are well known. But everyone turns a blind eye when they see the results. Superiors, feds, Republicans, or the Democrats.
So, he has the support of the white-collars?
Right. You have to be very careful with him. Tease him enough, and you'll end up in jail, guilty or innocent.
I think I've already teased him enough.
I have no doubts about it.
When did he get here?
It's been 3 years since he was transferred here. No one knows much about his past. He's not the kind of guy with whom you can chat over a beer. The only thing I know is that he was with the feds. But no one knows why he left, and especially why they transferred him to New York.
Do you know anything else?
What do you want me to say? That he's allergic to lemons, so you can poison him with a slice in his coffee? Jack, no one knows much about him. He talked to you more during the interrogation than to me in 3 years of working together.
What were you talking about when I got here?
It seems like he didn't appreciate that I paid your bail.
You aren't on good terms?
We aren't on any terms at all. Malone does his investigations alone and doesn't want anyone underfoot.
Let's change the subject. Tell me about Sean.
I'm not working on the case, but ask away.
What was he doing in New York?
I don't know. Since you two both got kicked out of the police force, I haven't ever seen him again. I just knew that he had moved to Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. While I was locked up in a 10 by 10 foot cell, he was living it up in the City of Angels.
I don't think he was exactly living it up, Jack.
What do you mean?
I got a case a while ago. A guy, a certain Patrick Olson, blew up a cafe near Central Park. During the investigation, Sean's name came out of nowhere. We never had any real need to contact him or question him or even suspect him, but that fact that his name came up surprised me. It seems like he was mixed up in some dirty business out in Los Angeles. I don't know what exactly, but he wasn't living it up.
Why did he have falsified documents with him?
I'm telling you, I'm not on the case, so I don't know all the details. But I think it's strange that Sean was in New York with fake documents, considering that a lot of people know him here. The fakes certainly wouldn't have helped him pass unnoticed.
I don't have any other questions for now. I better go now.
If you need me, I'll be in my office.
These archives must be older than this building. I know these photographs by heart. There's nothing but police officers and bureaucrats shaking hands. One of the many desks where each officer spends at least half of his life writing reports that no one will ever read. All the officers' shifts are on this blackboard. Name of the officers and their patrolling locations. Their radio frequencies are written here as well. Forms to fill out. One of the things that I don't miss about police work. Police Department, New York State. These archives must be older than this building. A notice board full of notices and signs. An example of stupid bureaucracy. It only says Elliot on the door. They could have at least put his last name. That's the crazy Chinese cab driver who left me at the port. What the hell is he doing here? It's that crazy Chinese cab driver. What are you doing here?
You! I knew it! You report me! Tell all to police!
What the hell are you talking about?
Yes, you pretend, but you one of them! One of them that hate foreigners! Yes, you're sexist!
Racist, not sexist.
Yes, you racist! You tell police to get me out of your country!
Listen, buddy, I couldn't care less if you're Chinese, African, or from Easter Island. I don't know why you're here. And if you stop squawking, maybe I'll be able to understand what's happening here.
You no report me to police?
No, I have other things to worry about than a damned cab driver.
If it's not you, then who was it? I confused.
Welcome to the club. $10 to enroll and free Whiskey Fridays.
$10? That expensive.
Forget about it. Let's start with you telling me how you ended up here, and your name too, because I'm not calling you the Chinese cab driver for the rest of this conversation.
My name Chon Jishi Wan.
Okay, I'm happy with Chon.
Do as you want.
Why are you here?
As soon as I leave port.
As soon as you ran from port.
I know one. Me?
Continue with the story.
As soon as I leave port, I realize I have to go bathroom. Weather is not what once was, you know?
I like hearing the details, but you can skip some of them.
Okay. I stop cab and look for a place where I can go to bathroom.
Why not do it near the cab?
I timid person, and this not your business. Anyway, when I get back, I see a man near cab.
A police officer?
No, not a police officer. No uniform, but gun in hand.
A gun?
Yes, gun. When I saw him, I hide behind dumpster. I thought he thief because he look in cab. Then suddenly he go away. I waited, hiding behind dumpster, afraid that they come back. When I come out, police come. I say that I just cab driver, but they bring me here.
Tell me about the guy with the gun.
He had mean face. In fact, I no trust and stay hiding. I cab driver, I know mean faces.
What was he doing?
He look at my cab like looking for something.
Did he say or do anything strange?
Before he go, he cursed a certain McLean.
McLean?
Yes, name seems same. You know?
It's not important if I know him or not. Tell me more about this guy.
I no trust you. I afraid that if I tell you, I get in trouble.
Hey, I'm risking life in the slammer for this case, so if you know something, talk.
Oh, you threaten all you want, but I no say nothing. I not know nothing.
Damn cab driver. Maybe Victoria could give me some information so I can make Chon talk. Now I have to go.
You go.
Come in.
Hi, Victoria. I have a few things I want to ask you.
What is it, Jack?
About the Chinese cab driver.
What do you want to know?
Why is he here?
His cab was half a mile from the crime scene. They found it parked near the port. The officers saw him, and when they found out he had taken you to the port, they brought him here. Since he got here, he hasn't done anything but whine and cry to get his cab back.
Where's his cab now?
It's in the department's warehouse. The officers brought it there. Obviously, it's been seized.
Interesting. Maybe now I have something to use to make Chan talk. I don't have anything else to ask you.
Whatever you want.
I better go now.
If you need me, I'll be in my office.
You again? What you want?
I have an offer for you.
What this about?
Tell me about the guy that you saw near your cab, and I'll make sure you get your cab back.
I don't believe you. You lie.
Whatever you want. I bet that it'll be fun to explain to the detective who will be questioning you why you're driving someone else's cab.
Okay. I tell you what I see. But until I see cab, I no tell you nothing.
You're not as dumb as I thought. Okay, done deal. I'll get your damn cab back, and you tell me what you saw.
Deal.
Now I have to go.
Ah, you go.
Hi, officer.
How can I help you?
About a seized cab.
Ah, yes. The one belonging to that whining Chinese guy.
How can I get a seized car released?
Do you believe in miracles?
What do you mean?
Release of a vehicle, Procedure 75. To release a vehicle, you need the form on its seizure. If the vehicle was seized because it was abandoned, you need Form B43. If the vehicle was seized following a police investigation, you need Form B26. If the vehicle was seized due to an unpaid fine, you need Form F12. Once the form with the vehicle's general information is filled in, it must be signed by the head detective of the department that seized the vehicle, and then delivered to the administrative officer, which, luckily, is me.
Isn't there a faster way of getting the damn cab back?
Yes, buying another one.
I don't have anything else to ask you.
Great news.
Goodbye, officer.
Goodbye.
One of those pompous awards that mayors love to hand out to make themselves more popular. John.
You retrieved cab?
Not yet. I'm working on it. About your cab, I need your license plate.
License plate? You mean numbers on car?
Yes, that.
I not know number.
How the hell am I supposed to get your cab back if you don't even remember the license plate number?
I remember only last two letters, C and I, like China, my country. I no remember other.
If there are 7 numbers, that means I need 7 numbers. What do you think I can do with just 2 numbers? Now I have to go.
Ah, you go.
officer.
How can I help you?
About a seized cab.
Tell me.
I don't know the license plate number.
Your problem.
Don't you have any way of figuring out what the cab's license plate number is?
Yeah, it's listed on the seized vehicle registry that I have right here.
And I obviously can't take a look at that list.
Nope, this information is confidential and they call it that because it's up to the police to decide who sees it. And you aren't one of those who can.
It's just a license plate number. What could I do with it?
I don't know, and I don't care. I have other things to worry about. So if you don't have any other questions, I'll get back to work.
I don't have anything else to ask you.
Great news.
I'd like to talk to Malone.
Sorry, the lieutenant is working a case.
I have to speak with him. It's urgent.
Sorry, but even if I wanted...
I'm the key suspect in the case the lieutenant is working on. I don't think that Lieutenant Malone would be happy if he finds out you sent me away.
Okay, wait here. I'll go call him.
The department's porter's lodge. The officer is coming back.
The lieutenant is waiting for you in the interrogation room. I think you know where that is.
I've changed my mind. I've got nothing to tell him. I don't have any intention of giving him any more money. Hi, officer.
How can I help you?
About a seized cab.
Tell me.
I don't know the license plate number.
Your problem.
Don't you have any way of figuring out what the cab's license plate number is?
Yeah, it's listed on the seized vehicle registry that I have right here.
And I obviously can't take a look at that list.
Nope, this information is confidential and they call it that because it's up to the police to decide who sees it. And you aren't one of those who can.
It's just a license plate number. What could I do with it?
I don't know, and I don't care. I have other things to worry about. So if you don't have any other questions, I'll get back to work.
I don't have anything else to ask you.
Great news.
Goodbye, officer.
Goodbye.
I don't have any intention of giving him any more money. Hi, officer.
How can I help you?
I'd like to talk to Malone again.
Again? Okay, wait here.
Good. Now that the officer isn't there, let's try to figure out the cab's license plate number. Here's the list of seized cars. There are more than a dozen license plate numbers. I have to figure out which one belongs to Chon. Chon said that his license plate ended with C and I. This is the only one on the list that matches. This has to be Chon's cab. RP834CI. I should remember it. The officer is coming back.
The lieutenant is waiting for you.
I've changed my mind. I've got nothing to tell him. To fill out the form, I need to know the name of the person who's supposed to sign this piece of paper to make it valid. Paul Sanders, head detective. Kevin Thomas Taylor, head of the department. George Hawks, police captain. Okay, I have the license plate number and the name of the person who's supposed to sign. Now I just need to fill out the form. Signed for. Okay, let's start. I should have filled it all out correctly. Now I just have to give it to the officer on duty. Here's the release form.
Let me check. Seems in order. It's incredible that you got the head detective's signature so quickly.
I'm a lucky guy.
More than lucky. Head Detective Sanders died of a heart attack last month. Funny how he can still sign releases.
Okay, let's knock it off with this show. If you haven't arrested me yet, it's clear that you want something for the release of the cab. What is it?
Well, you know how things are nowadays. We have an economic crisis, there's rent to pay, diapers for the kids. I could close an eye if you help me.
Let's try with $10. Is this enough?
$10? You're definitely not Rockefeller, are you?
If I were rich, I certainly wouldn't be here bribing some kid cop.
Hey, stop preaching. You just falsified a document. You're the last one who can preach. You try living with what the police force pays. I have a wife and a daughter to support. And I assure you that at the end of the day, I don't care if everything was on the up and up at work if I can't give my family a decent meal.
Okay, cut out the sob story. Take the money and release the damn cab.
I'll give the order to release that cab. Don't worry.
Your cab was released.
You freed my cab?
Yes, I freed your cab.
You no lie?
Done. Your cab was released, and it cost me $10. So now let's talk about what you saw at the port.
Okay.
Chon starts talking about the guy with the gun. I find out that hiding behind the trash cans, he didn't see much of the face that, a second before, he had described as not very desirable. The guy wasn't doing anything strange. He was glancing at the cab, in between a curse against Sean and a puff on his cigarette. A very strong-smelling cigarette, according to Chon. An armed hitman with a taste for good tobacco. This is everything that I can find out about the guy who probably killed Sean. Certainly not enough to find out something about his identity. Interesting.
Now I tell you everything. I go away?
No, we have to go somewhere first.
We have to? Why I come with you?
Because I need your cab.
I no intention being your cab driver.
In that case, I could tell the police officers a story about a Chinese guy driving some Mexican guy's cab.
Damn it, this is unfair.
Welcome to New York.
I don't understand why you want to come back here.
The armed guy that saw you near your cab was looking for something. Probably while his friend with the quick hook was looking around the piers, he was going through the neighboring areas. When you ran away, he must have seen you and followed you, thinking that you might have had what they were looking for. The arrival of the police must have made them run away. And that makes me think that whatever they were looking for must still be at this port.
Okay, I wish you good luck. See you.
Stop right there. You're not going anywhere. I paid $10 to get your cab back. And since my car is still parked in Harlem, I decided you'll be my driver.
No way, my friend. Forget it.
If you like your cab, don't make waves. Because when I get back, if you aren't here, I swear I'll take this jalopy of yours and demolish it.
Damn it. Okay, I'll be your driver. But you promise you cause me no trouble.
We're in New York. This city is the capital of trouble.
Certainly, Lieutenant Malone. I'll tell you immediately if anyone tries to get near the port area. Definitely. On your orders, over and out. That's all I needed. As if this day wasn't already bad enough. I should have listened to my old man and worked at his fruit stand. At sunset, you close down and that's it. Well, I better not think about it.
It looks like Malone wasn't joking when he said that he was going to put his guys on me. As long as the officer stays there, I can't get to the piers. It's a police car, with a radio, it would seem. If I managed to open the car, I could use the radio in it. Break into a police car? Why not? Let's add a few details to my criminal record. Dannazione. The lock just reset. I have to start over. Now that it's open, let's try to figure out how to use this radio. If I can get the radio to work, I could pretend I'm from the police department. Maybe I can find a way to get them to leave the port. Operator here. Please answer.
Officer Glasser here.
Officer, what's the situation at the port?
It's raining, it's cold, and there's a dead body on the pier. And the best part is that we can't even move the body until the forensics get here. And, as usual, they're taking their time. They should have been here an hour ago.
Is the victim's body still on the pier?
Yes. Lieutenant Malone said not to touch anything until those dandies with their tweezers and gloves get here.
Officer, you have to come back to the department.
Negative, we can't. Until the forensics get here, we can't leave the pier.
Officer, we need more men.
Sorry, but we have orders from Lieutenant Malone. Even if the White House blew up, we couldn't move from here. So unless you have work I can do over the radio, don't count on me.
Officer, you have to do something.
What's this about?
It doesn't make any sense. You need to contact the Binkle Taxi Company by radio. They reported a driver missing on the Lower East Side.
Are you joking?
No, officer. We don't have any other officers who can take care of it.
Shit. Not only do I have to deal with the rain in the middle of a semi-deserted port, but I also have to go and collect information on the underpaid cab driver who decided to run away without saying anything to anybody.
Sorry, officer.
Yeah, over and out. Police Officer Glasser to Binkle Taxi Company. Answer. Hi, I'm calling about the missing cab driver. Can you please tell me who is speaking?
Good. I'd say that we have to take advantage of it and go by.
Carlos Gallardo. When was the last time you heard from him? Has he ever disappeared before?
As I suspected, the port is crawling with cops. I'd do well to be careful. If even only one of these officers sees me, I'd give Malone a reason to lock me up in the slammer for the rest of my life.
Hey, what's going on?
The power must have gone out. Go hook it back up.
How?
How the hell should I know? Do I look like an electrician? Go see Glasser and have him explain it. He's the one who turned it on when we got here.
Why do I have to go?
Because I don't feel like it. And since you're the rookie, you'll follow my orders.
But...
Stop stuttering and go get Glasser.
This isn't how you're supposed to act.
Yeah, you're right. The world's unfair. Now do me a favor and hurry up. This place is bad enough on its own, but without light, it's even worse. Not only did they give me the rookie, but they gave me the one that stutters, too. It used to be harder to join the police force. Damn.
I'm turning the power back on.
It looks like I made it just in time. Sean, the last time that we saw each other, we were both in court, and you were being tried for having worked with the Valenti mob family. We were being framed, but you said that it was all true, that we'd helped transport illegal goods for the mob boss, Arturo Valenti. Confessing to a crime you didn't commit allowed you to get away with just being kicked out of the police force. No jail time. But I continued to declare my innocence, and I earned myself a nice trip to the state prison. And now, you drop back into my life, pulling me into this mess? God knows why, but I'm not sorry you're dead. The name of the ship is practically illegible. There's something between the wooden planks. It looks like a piece of metal. Whatever it is, it's stuck. If I try to get it with my hands, it might fall in the water. Let's see if we can find something to get me out of this mess. In Sean's pockets, apart from the $50 that, without too much of a problem, I put in my own pocket, I find something familiar. A Dord. One of those small Irish horns that Sean used to carry with him. I remember well the day that he told me about them. This is the third one, Sean.
3 warnings in a month. I could set a new record for the department.
Right. I think that the boss is yelling in his office because he can't find the right streamers to celebrate the event.
I don't give a damn, Jack. A lecture, a sorry face, and everything goes back to normal.
I don't think it will do this time. You broke a priest's nose, and that's the type of thing that the press rakes us over the coals for.
Fuck the press. A black cassock doesn't give anyone the right to touch a 6-year-old girl. Damn it, Jack, 6 years old. Only 6 years old.
That cassock wouldn't have saved him from the slammer.
Maybe you're right. I got away from myself. But that girl was the same age as me sister when she disappeared. I'll never forgive myself for not having protected her when she needed it. That's why I always carry these horns with me. They are Dords, ancient Irish horns. My grandfather gave one to me and one to my sister before we left Dublin. It's the only thing of hers I have left.
You've never told me this story before.
There was never any reason, Jack.
He always had 2 Dords on him, but I've found only one here. I wonder where the other one is. It's a Dord, one of the 2 little horns that Sean used to carry with him. Dord. This word keeps bugging me. I feel like I'm missing something. But what? I have to think about it. It's a Dord. Dord. This word keeps bugging me. I better think about it. The call I got said, follow the Dord, not the Lord. So it has to be Sean calling. He knew he would die, and he called me so that I could get what he hid in this port before anybody else. And this horn must be the key to finding it. I looked everywhere. He doesn't have anything else on him. Noah's Shipyard. An original name for a shipyard. They're the shipyard's bulkheads. From their size, I guess they don't just build small boats. It's the Manhattan Bridge. They finished it about 20 years ago. It connects Lower Manhattan with Brooklyn. One of the crates is open. Dolls. So this is what most of the crates at the port contain. I have better things to do than assemble dolls for babies right now. The access to the shipyard. Looks like a piece of this steel sign has been pulled away. Looks like a piece of this steel sign has been pulled away. I can't think of anything. The door is locked with a padlock. At first glance, I'd say that it's closed. A piece of wire. Yes, I'll take it. A piece of wire can turn out to be helpful when you least expect it. I don't see how I could use them together. No, it doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't make any sense. Yes, with a piece of wire, I should be able to get it without making it fall in the water. This piece of metal was stuck between the wooden planks. The word faith is written on it. What the hell does that mean? And it's blood-stained. It's clear that Sean used it, or it was used on Sean. Let's see. Bingo. The piece of metal fits in perfectly. All I needed to do was push the door a little for the padlock to give way. Someone worked hard to make this door seem locked when it really wasn't. Now I just need to figure out why. Let's take a look inside. The inside of the shipyard can only be described as run down. Rotten parts of boats are strewn everywhere, and everything that isn't wood is covered with an inch-thick layer of rust. A nice place to look for something when you aren't even sure what you're looking for. The light filtering through these windows is just enough for me to see what's inside this shipyard. Barrels. They're the shipyard's bulkheads. From their size, I guess they don't just build small boats. These wooden stacks are useless because they're rotten. It's a toolbox. It doesn't have many tools. There's a hammer, a wrench, and some valves inside. These wooden planks are lifted by a pulley system. They must be part of the machinery used to build ships. Just a pile of junk. These crates are bigger than the other ones I found at the shipyard. These crates are bigger than the other ones I found at the shipyard. It's a control panel. I think it's used to control the pulleys hooked to the roof. Given the state of this bridge, I'd say that this shipyard has been abandoned for a while now. These wooden planks are lifted by a pulley system. Incredible that this thing can still float. The sound that I heard came from those crates. A kid? What the hell is a little girl doing here? Hey, little one, what are you doing here?
Whistling fine.
She has Sean's horn. He must have hid her here. Hey, kid, did Sean hide you here?
Sean.
She's terrified. I need to get her away from here. I'll figure out who she is and why Sean hid her here later. I'll take a valve. It still looks intact, even though it was left here years ago. If I could put this doll back together, I could use it to calm the girl down. No clue. At least none that makes any sense. It doesn't work like this. No, it doesn't work like this. Yes, it should work fine, but I have to find a way to keep the pieces together. If I use the metal wire, it should be okay. I'd say that it's perfect. I have a future as a toy maker. hope this helps her calm down a little. It looks like the toy calmed her down. Now that I've got her out of there, I have to find a way to get her away from this place. I can't go by the piers. If the girl started to cry or yell, the cops would catch us immediately. But I saw a door on the opposite side of the pier. I could use that to get away. It's just a question of finding a way to get there that doesn't involve swimming. Me and water don't mix. Maybe I could use the pulleys to connect the opposite side of the pier. Nothing's happening. It looks like it's out of order. I could check the machinery. Maybe I can find a way to turn it on. No clue. At least none that makes any sense. No, it doesn't make any sense. There's not enough light to see anything. Let's take a look. These screws stop the panel from coming undone. Good idea. Okay, now I have all 9 valves. Let's see if I can get it to work. Yes, that should work now. An indicator light just turned on. Now it should work. Yes, if I position them like this, I should be able to reach the opposite side of the shipyard. Good. It's time to test our emergency bridge. Let's get the girl and go. In the balance. I'm always in the balance. Whether it's a whiskey bottle or wooden planks, it makes no difference. My life is always in the balance. There's a door on the opposite side. I'm certain that it leads to the port's entrance. I doubt I'd be able to open the door as long as there's this bin in the way. It probably weighs at least double my weight. It's impossible to move it as long as it's full. Boat launches that, luckily, will never see the sea. The wood is starting to rot, and the nails are completely rusted. Maybe one of the nails used on these boats could be helpful. The rust doesn't seem to have corroded it completely. It can still be used. If I can put a hole in the bottom of the barrel, I could empty it. Once it's empty, it shouldn't be a problem to move it. Good. Now I can leave this damn shipyard. John?
Oh, you here? Where you go?
Nowhere in particular. Start the car. We have to leave quickly.
Quickly? What have happened? You have ended in trouble again?
Enough questions. Get ready to leave. I have to get something from the yard, and then we'll go.
I don't like this. You go to port without girl, and now girl in my cab.
It's not your cab.
Oh, always looking at detail. Anyway, it's not normal find girl at port. At port, they're fish, bull, homeless people, not girl.
At the port, you find whatever is left behind. Until now, I found a dead body and a kid. Maybe someone else was luckier.
You need go to police. I don't want to be accused of kidnapping because of you.
Forget the police and drive.
Pointless talking to you.
I've heard that before, but people keep trying.
And you still not tell me where we going.
Someone is looking for this girl, and it looks like they would do anything to get her. Taking her to my house would be stupid. You only need half a brain and a telephone book to figure out where I live. Hence, I need a safe place. John, you wait here and watch the girl.
Now I be babysitter?
Right. It'll be good experience for when you have kids.
I already have kids, but they far away.
You left them in China?
No, Detroit. They have Chinese restaurant.
Whatever. Let's forget about it. Just take care of the girl. Greta. Danation. Greta, answer me.
Who is this?
Greta, it's Jack.
Jack? Do you know what time it is?
I know, Greta, but I need your help.
You can't make up your mind on what brand of whiskey to get drunk on?
It's got nothing to do with booze. Open up.
First, tell me why you're at the door to my place in the middle of the night.
Open up and I'll tell you.
I have no intention of opening this door unless you give me a good reason to do so. What was that?
The reason why I'm here.
But that's a kid's voice. What trouble are you in?
Let me in and I'll tell you the whole story. While I'm explaining the whole thing, Greta helps me with my busted lip. That ape at the port almost ripped off my whole jaw. I tell her about Sean, the girl, and why I came here. After some convincing, she agrees to take care of the girl. When she's done cleaning me up, she takes the girl upstairs and is kind enough to leave a bottle of whiskey on the table. Ignoring the fact that my cut lip might reopen, I down a few glasses. I need to relax, and nothing relaxes me like a good whiskey.
Come on. Wake up. We need to get on board. Right. We have a boat to catch.